everybody. It's time for some Jumcraft. Me, Jumington. How you doing? Just hanging out in my mine shaft down here. Been doing some digging and doing some mining. Had to recover some of my redstone dust that I've used up, and figured I'd scope out for some diamonds or iron or gold or any of that other good stuff. And I found some diamonds down here, and I was saving it for you guys. Not much to this mine. I'll talk about it in a second here. But right now I got 7 diamond blocks. I got my Fortune 3 pick. It's just about ready to go, but I think it'll be enough to get these. So let's see how many diamonds we can get out of this bad boy here. Eleven diamonds. That's a whole lot of diamond. What the crap? Too bad you don't belong down here. I don't know how we got down here. This has been happening more and more lately. You'll see when we get back upstairs. And it's a bug that sometimes, even if you leave them sitting, animals will just kind of teleport to you. And I think what's happening is that I left them up by the shore, and when other mobs roam the area, they can kind of push them around. And I think they end up getting pushed into the water. And then when that happens, they're not sitting anymore. And so they will teleport to you. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. They're getting pushed into the water there. So yeah, I gotta find a pen for these guys. But this is my mine. This is my mine shaft. It's super basic. Actually, not a lot of thought put into it. You know, at its most basic level, I'm just down here on layer 12, so I can not have to worry about digging straight into lava. Although that's not always gonna hold true, because that's exactly what happened here. Dug straight into this and a little bit over that way. Don't push me into the lava, friend. Otherwise I will never feed you. And you know, you just skip 2 and then dig the tunnel. Yep. And you know, that way you're not wasting resources, because you'll see what's on either side. You can actually even skip 3, because chances are pretty good that you're going to run into the veins. Especially if you dig below or above or below these, you can kind of stagger them a little bit to get the most coverage. There's lots of different techniques to mining. And there's the chicken. He will remain for all time. Come on, Jubei. Yeah, I got these other dogs here, and pretty sure it's the same thing. Okay, you just sit your butt down. Sit down. Don't sit there. Man. They're all sitting up there on the shore, and I'm pretty sure that when mobs spawned at night, they just kind of pushed them into the water. And since they were no longer sitting, they teleported to me. Same for got a cat down here, too. Kind of irritating. So, man, you know, wanted to get another episode out before the weekend. I just couldn't pull it off. Put a lot of work into that 50th episode. Got a lot of great feedback from it, and a lot of people seem to really enjoy it, and I'm glad, because, like I said, I put a lot of work into it. I had some technical glitches working through it, but managed to work through it. Just meant more time spent that Sunday, last Sunday, editing it, which was tons of fun. I said it's only half sarcastically, because it is a lot of fun for me to edit the videos, but when things go wrong, it's a little bit less fun for me. There's 3 diamond blocks. So that's pretty good. Yeah, digging through that mine, and you can see I got plenty more redstone. I got some gold. Got a lot of lapis lazuli. Fell down in my slime pit a couple times, wandering around, and kind of killed those guys. This is the iron I got from that caving underneath the zombie pump. That's a healthy amount of iron there. So gonna drop that back in. So I've got a lot of blocks of iron. I've just got a lot of iron in general, which is good, because if I want to do more crazy stuff with pistons, I'm going to need a lot of that. But I also am going to use a lot of that to make iron gates, or the iron, yeah, it is iron gates, to go around that zombie pump. That's a design for another day. But first, before I do anything, I have 106 levels here, and you can see I had, I think, 105 in episode 50. You know, I killed a couple of zombies and stuff. I must have killed a lot of stuff while I was running around outside collecting sugarcane. So I've got 106 levels now, and I need to use this, because if I die, I'm going to lose most, if not all of this. So I need to use this quickly. And you can see, you know, my pick is almost run down, but I go through a lot of picks. But more importantly, my bow and my sword, which is my sharpness 3, looting 3 sword, and my power 5 bow, and they're both pretty good. They're both getting close to the end of their life. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put like, 40 to 50 into each and just see what I get. All right, let's start with the sword. Might take me a bit to get high 40s up to 50. 48. Let's give it a go. Bane of Arthropods 5, Fire Aspect 2. Well, the Fire Aspect's cool, but the Bane of Arthropods 5? Bane of Arthropods, if you're not aware, is Bane of Spiders, Arthropods, and they will. This will do extra damage to spiders and cave spiders, or spider jockeys, but I guess just the spider part of the spider jockey. And silverfish, I believe this also injures. Now, silverfish aren't that tough to begin with, but yeah, this will help against spiders, so that's kind of cool. Fire Aspect 2 is cool. I mean, it's already a diamond sword, so you're already doing a nice load of damage. Yeah, it's not looting, it's not sharpness, but you don't always get the really cool stuff. Even when you pump a bunch of levels into it, it's always just this percentile chance. Maybe I would have had a better chance if I went all the way up to 50, but maybe I would just be more disappointed than I am. But that's cool. I've never gotten Bane of Arthropods. I had Fire Aspect before, but I think it was just Fire Aspect 1, so that's cool. Nice thing about this is if like a cow or a pig will survive the damage from the diamond sword but die from the fire, their meat drops pre-cooked. So that could really come in handy for me in the future when I start my cow pasture, once I get things kind of clear out in the main island, and it'll speed things up. But I still got the looting, so I'm going to use that for the time being. Let's pop this bow in, and I'm going to see if I can pump this all the way to 50. Just because I've got the experience. I have 58 levels left. Hopefully I don't skip past 50. Hopefully I didn't already while I was talking and looking away for a second. Oh, here's 50. Power 5 and Punch 2. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty good. I like having that punch, and that's real handy for fighting creepers. Because if the Power 5 doesn't take them out straight away, then at least the punch will push them away. And I think if you shoot guys off of cliffs and they die from the fall damage, you'll still get experience. Of course, it doesn't matter much unless you immediately dive down after them into the cliff. But I got these featherfall boots, so maybe I would. Who knows? All right, so let's just get right into it. Right now, I'm checking out the newest snapshot, and I don't normally mess around with the snapshots much. I usually like to wait for the full release, but this one had some stuff that I was pretty excited about, so I went ahead and installed it. So let's check some of that out. One thing they changed was books have a different formula now. Previously, a book was made with 3 pieces of paper, and you can make paper with sugar cans. With 3 sugar cane gets you 3 pieces of paper. 3 pieces of paper would get you 1 book. But now you need 3 pieces of paper and 1 piece of leather to kind of bind it. So books did get a little bit more expensive, but that's okay, because you're probably going to want to breed cows anyway. And here's why. Well, number 1, the steaks. When you kill a cow, the drop rate for raw beef is 1 to 3. Compare that to a pig, the drop rate for raw pork chops is 0 to 2. So when you kill a cow, you're always going to get food out of it. And the only other 2 food sources that come close to steak, cooked steak in terms of your hunger shake replenishment and your saturation level, are pork chops and mushroom stew. Now, like I said, with pork chops, you don't get as many from pigs. You might get nothing when you kill pigs. And pigs don't drop anything else and don't provide any other use unless you want to ride around in a saddle. Mushroom stew relies on having wooden bowls which stack, and 2 kinds of mushrooms, but the mushroom stew itself doesn't stack. So it's not as handy as steak, which you can stack up to 64 and get the full hunger shank replenishment and a good saturation level. The only other food that comes close to this is cake, but cake is, that's only if you eat the whole cake, and it's a block that stacks, but you have to place it and then click on it multiple times to eat the whole thing. So it's really not as effective. Additionally, you get milk from cows, which you can use to neutralize poison. I haven't used that much, but say if you're going to build a cave spider spawner trap, you're going to be working around that. It's good to carry that with you so you don't get killed from poison. And now that leather has another use, everything that they drop is useful, and more than just in the beginning of the game. Because before, when leather made leather armor, well, it wasn't very long before you were better off just making iron armor. So you didn't really need leather armor for that long. But now that you need to make books, it's vastly more useful. So that and the steaks makes cows the perfect animal. But this is the new book, and you can see that in preparation for the new book recipe, I've made tons of books. I've taken all the sugar cane I had gathered up and actually gathered a lot more so I can get 3 full stacks of books. And that's fine, you know, those books are just books. Just because the crafting recipe changes doesn't mean that stuff you've already made will get broken or reverted or somehow not work. So keep that in mind. This is likely how it's going to be in the 1.3. I mean, this is just a snapshot now, so things could still change, but I think it's pretty likely they're going to keep this new crafting recipe for books. So if you're trying to rack up enough sugarcane to get enough books to make the bookcases you need for an enchanting station, and you plan on updating to 1.3 when it comes out, and I'm not really sure when that's going to come out, you might want to spend some time stocking up on that stuff now, because unless you've got a cow pasture going, you're going to end up having to run out and get a lot of leather. You know, I'd need 64 leather to pull off this many books, so that's a lot. So I went ahead and made all of that ahead of time. I also made one of the new books, and take this upstairs and show you some of that. So you got the book with the new recipe, and it's just a standard book. If we add an ink sack, it's called ink sack, and a feather. And you don't have to put this in a crafting table. There's no real order to it, so you can put it in any way you like, as long as they're all in there. Kind of like repairing items, unlike flint and steel that still has a specific order. That always drives me nuts. You will get a book and quill. And what's so cool about a book and quill? Well, it should be kind of obvious from looking at it. Right-click while you've got it, and here's a book you can write in. You can write in these here books, and that is really super cool to me. And you can get up to 50 pages in these books that you can write in. When you're done writing, you hit done, and then it'll save your stuff. Just throw some crap in there. It'll save it, and if you want to make it permanent so it can't be edited, you can sign it, and it lets you give it a title. And very cool, very cool. So I can see a lot of uses for this. On single player, I can see it's very useful for something that I'm always recommending but don't always follow, which is to write down your coordinates. And so now you have a book, and this is even better than a map. You have a book where you can write down your coordinates and take a look at it, and you know, I need to go X 100, Z 300, and it'll show you where you need to go for your different locations. And you can also quickly mark down where you're exploring the coordinates for different cool stuff that you found, and that's immediately useful. Now, in multiplayer situations, it opens up a lot of cool possibilities. If you're playing on a hardcore server, you can leave like a little journal behind, and if you die, it can, you know, sit there and maybe someone else will find it. I think that'd be kind of cool for adventure maps, you know, custom maps people made. You don't have to put all your instructions on signs, because as you can see, the amount of information you can fit on a sign is pretty minimal. But now you can pack it in. You've got 50 pages in a book to pack stuff in, instructions, notes, and you can leave those behind for people. So I'm real excited about that, and that's, you know, really the main reason that I've upgraded to the Snapshot, is to check out these books. So bravo, man. That's something I think people have been asking for a while. I've seen mods that did it. Once again, you know, one thing that people I think would have liked, that's not really in it, is that you can't put these like in bookshelves. You know, it's just an item you carry around. I think people kind of want to put them in bookshelves and have bookshelves have more of a function instead of just decoration or enhancing the enchantment table. But you know, I'll take what I can get here. This is pretty cool. That all of the different colored wood now will make half slabs in their colors. So let's just show that real quick. So now you've got jungle wood slab. I wonder what happens if we just combine this. Yep, doesn't make anything. So you can't mix and match different colors anymore, and it makes its own colored slab. I'm just going to go ahead and make these because there's kind of a little buggy glitch thing with it. Now it's birchwood slab and spruce wood slab. And I think That is the first time that the different types of wood is actually distinguished by different names is in the slabs, which is very interesting to me. But let me show you this. So you've got your different colored slabs, but what do we get if we place a slab on top? You get normal full slab. If we place one on the ceiling though, because you can place like the upper slab, we just get regular wood slabs. So it's not quite all there. It's probably coming there. I did read that Jeb is not planning to add different colored stairs for all the different colored wood blocks, and I understand his reasoning because it adds more. Probably would have to add another block type, and it makes things more complicated. And right now they don't want to add too much stuff and have to expand things. But I kind of wish, if he was going to add different colored wood, he'd kind of take that into account. I don't expect different colored doors or fences or anything like that. But when you're building stuff, having more stairs that will match things is better. Similarly, I wish they had sandstone stairs, because if I want to build like a kick-ass sandstone pyramid, I think I could pull it off a lot better with stairs. But that's, just me whining. Look at it. They add all this cool stuff to the game and just end up complaining about what they didn't add. I should grab my Silk Touch as well, because there's one other thing that they added back in that's kind of cool, but not as cool as you might think. I think cool is probably the most apropos term to use, because what they have added back in is the ability to pick up ice with Silk Touch. And, well, there's a skeleton out there. I'm just going to wait till morning to show that off. So let's go check out this Silk Pick action. I was very excited when I read this, but ultimately disappointed, although, again, I understand their mentality. Alright, so here's what we do with ice. If you use a regular pick or just break it with any normal tools, ice just turns into water, and then it will refreeze again at some point when it is in, it's in the snow biome, and it will refreeze, and then the water only freezes if it's directly exposed to air. So if I put a block over it, it wouldn't freeze. If we use the Silk Touch, let me find one that's close to the surface. We use Silk Touch, get ice, and no water is left behind. So let's just pick up some ice here. 8 ice. I can always come back and grab more. Just going to fill this back in with some water. And that all freezes up nicely. Get my water back eventually. So there's some cool stuff you can do with ice, having these ice blocks. And to demonstrate, I'm just going to dig little channel here and throw some water down in it. And let's get some stone. Now this is a pretty pretty straightforward, pretty standard way to move items. For instance, old style mob traps or farms where you want to collect stuff. It's just to have a water flow that pushes the items along, and you can see it moves them at a pretty leisurely pace down the river, and that's all well and good. And it gets the job done, and unless you have an extremely long distance for that stuff to travel, you're not going to have to worry too much about the time on that. And by time, I mean you've got 5 minutes before stuff despawns. So, if it has to travel a very long distance, if it takes like 5 minutes to get to you, you're going to lose stuff. But it's rarely an issue. But sometimes you need stuff to get to you a little bit quicker, and that's where we put ice in. If you line the bottom of your water channel with ice, you can see that stuff moves a hell of a lot faster. Now, I don't know if this doesn't seem to impact the rate that I am getting pushed, so I doubt it's going to impact the rate that, mobs get pushed. But, oop, that was the wrong one. So you can see ice has some cool, handy uses, and it's a neat thing to build with. It's a lot like glass. You can't put a lot of stuff on the side of it, so it's a little bit tricky to work with, but you can build some cool stuff out of ice. Being able to pick it up means you can transport it to non-snowy areas, and as long as you're careful with the lighting, it's not going to melt on you. So it's very handy. However, there was one specific thing that having the ability to pick up ice was very useful for, and that is the ability to bring water into the nether. And doesn't really work now. And that was kind of a letdown. So normally you place an ice block down, and let's just make sure, just in case my information is incorrect, you could place a torch next to it or a flame or something, and it would melt, and then you would get water. Otherwise, you can just break it with a pick, and water would be left behind. You saw before I broke it with the pick, it left behind the water source block that comprised the ice, but now if we break it in the nether, we get nothing. Nothing at all. So that's kind of disappointing, kind of sad. Yeah, being able to bring water into the nether would have been cool. It would mean being able to have a infinite water source. It would make brewing potions in the nether while I'm waiting for stuff to grow, like the nether wart to grow, would be more viable. I've seen a lot of people build little like a earth away from home where they put grass in there and grow some trees and try and make it look like the normal world, just like some people will bring a bunch of nether rack back to earth and set on fire and set up like a netherish cave. So that's a little less homey without the water there, but that's fine. That's fine. Still plenty of stuff to do, and the ability to write in books is plenty cool. And yeah. So those are some of the new features of the new Snapshot update, but that's not all. Let's close out of his, and let's start a new world. Test world new, and some of these options a little bit different. So you've got survival, hardcore, creative, all the usual ones. Let's go to more world options. Generate structures you can turn on and off. If you don't want villages or strongholds or anything like that, you can turn that off. World type, default, super flat. Seen that before, but here's the two new ones that are kind of cool. Allow cheats and bonus chest. So let's just turn both of those on, and we'll check this out. And you see, it's still got the normal place for a seed. Allow cheats allows you to use commands that mods are able to use in multiplayer, and there's actually a mod for this called single player commands that lets you do all these things that will give you the ability to fly or turn damage on and off. I don't know all the commands that are available in this official add-in, and it's something that you have to set when you create a world, although there is a way with certain tools that let you edit map data that you can turn cheats on if you've already created a world. And I'll try and find a site or a post somewhere that has an explanation of that. It's not too hard to do. So if it's something you want to play around with, don't feel like you have to create a new world. You can actually edit your world to add that in. And they also add this bonus chest. And this is really only useful when you first start a world. And what it is you'll get a chest that shows up presumably near where you start. And it's got some random junk in it to help get you started. It only appears once. So it's not, you're not going to see more of these random chests going around. And somebody asked me, you know, is there a way to have chests appear randomly throughout the game? I said there already is. You know, you get chests in dungeons, you get chests in villages, and you get chests in strongholds and abandoned mine shafts. And it felt like kind of a trolly answer, but that's what it is. So let's go ahead and create this new world and check some of the stuff out. Hey, sheep. Oh, there's a chest. Let's see what we get. I got some apples. We got some wood. Got some sticks. We got a stone pickaxe. It's random what you get, but the contents of the chest, just like any chests that are generated in world, this goes for dungeon chests, this goes for stronghold chests, the contents are actually dictated by the seed. So that if you use the same seed with the same world generation, you're going to get the same stuff in the chest. Otherwise, it's, you know, all normal. Now let's hit the tilde key. Is it tilde or T? Yeah. I don't know if there's like a list of commands. Oh, there we go. So, you know, // and question mark. So here's, you know, here's your commands. Page 1 of 2, eh? Well, if you hit T, you can chat with yourself, I guess. Use the tab key while typing to auto-complete the command or its arguments. So you've got give player items, so you can give yourself stuff. You can set the time or move time forward. There's this help, which just gives me that pretty much. So this is page 1 of 2, and I don't know how to get to the next page of this, which is odd. XP amount players, so you can give XP to player. Some of these may be geared towards multiplayer, but most of the time if you're running multiplayer you're going to get more commands from different add-ons. But it's cool that they're building this into the game, and I think this is all part of adding the Bucket add-on, integrating that code into the game. If you're unfamiliar with Bucket, it's an add-on for multiplayer servers that gives you, as an admin, more control over the game, and it's super handy. And there's lots of add-ons for that. It's more of like a add-on manager. It has its own features, but it gives you an easy channel to add other stuff on, other mods into the game, like a super hardcore mod that changes how health works and things like that. Let's see, was this toggle downfall that probably affects falling damage? You can set the game mode, and this is really cool and something you might want to check out. If you just want to experiment with stuff, you can change the game mode between survival and creative in the game, so that you can play in survival, but if you just want to build something really huge and don't want to go through and get all the stuff, you can just change it to creative mode, and then you can fly and you're invincible, and you can build and dig quicker, and that's kind of neat. And then kill, and I think kill just kills yourself. I don't see any addition on that. Let's just see what kill. Yep, kill kills me. Ouch, that looked like it hurt. That's very bizarre. So what's that? Is there anything else here? Help. Showing help, page 1 of 2. Let's see, let's try help 2. Page. Oh, this is help page 2 of 2, which apparently doesn't have anything more. That's bizarre. Well, let's just set game mode creative, infamous jump. And now we're in creative, and yep, brings up the creative menu, and yeah, whee. So yeah, that's that's as far as I can recall, aside from some bug fixes. That's pretty much the features of the new Snapshot update in a nutshell. So let's go back to the main world here, and I might go through the map editor and update that information to enable cheats in the normal game. I don't know. I don't see myself using it very often, but I think it might be burning up there. Might be kind of cool to use for like touring stuff and just to show stuff off. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with this army of animals. I'm probably just going to construct some sort of pen to hold them so that they will be safe. And yeah, let's just take care of this right now. Alright, gang. All nice and safe and cozy in your new home. We'll just mark this off with some torches here so I remember where I put you. And this way you're all nice and cozy and safe from the elements. And out of my way.